Oh, good morning. It is Saturday morning. I've been back since Monday night. Thought I arrived on Sunday because I'm leaving LA on Sunday. I'm coming home on Sunday. Makes sense, right? No, so Leslie was actually at the airport Sunday night, even though I'm returning Monday night. Sorry, babe. Not that you ever watch this. So, it is NAMM, the week in review with coffee. I can only talk about what I've seen, obviously. So let's go into personal stuff. And many people have commented on the NAMM video, said they don't give a flying rat's ass about me. Well, I don't give a flying rat's ass about them. I know the people that watch this watch my channel because of everything. So, leaving Sunday morning for Zurich to meet with the Warwick team. That sucked, not because of Zurich or the Warwick team, but because I had to say goodbye to Congo, which was incredibly hard. Just saying goodbye to your dog for the last time, it was not a good moment. And so the drive to the airport, the flight to Zurich, everything was not so good. The Warwick team was incredibly nice. They're super sweet people, and they consoled me. They made me laugh. They made me forget it for a bit. Then the grueling, I don't know. Oh, at the airport, a bomb warning went off, or explosives warning. So my baggage got checked by someone with a big ass gun. And then in Zurich, again, I got selected for a random security check. And they went through everything again, and every single time taking out the Osmo gimbal cam and explaining that it's not a weapon. So that was fun. So what else? Then we flew for 12 hours to LA. Arriving in LA at, for some reason, that whole flight and maybe the stress with the dog, everything brought the cough back big time. Fucking China cough. And that meant I was popping my cough drops as if they're nothing. Just 1, 2, 3. So they're extremely sticky and rubbery and gooey. And at the rental car agency, they pulled out a crown in the back. Luckily not in the front. That would have been very bad. No, a back molar. They pulled out a crown. Great. Good stuff. So going to the hotel, it didn't start well. We went to have food, and then I schlepped myself, as the Yiddish say, or the Germans, to the pharmacy to get some tooth repair kit. My buddy Patrick, who I had just met, who was supposed to be my roommate for the week, who actually was, didn't look too good at dinner. It was really cold at Ruth Chris. So, he already went to bed. I bought the tooth repair kit, and it's kind of like a putty. Put in too much, tooth too high, and sleeping like this, whatever. So the next day, I could pick up my rental car that I had prepared, and we didn't quite know what to do. I knew I had stuff for Tuesday, so I called Avi from Boutique Amp Distribution, said, Avi, can we do the factory tour? He's like, come on up. On that short notice, right before NAMM, pretty damn cool. So we drove up to wherever that was, to this really old, raggedy, huge building, and inside the most bestest amps are made. Dave Friedman is hanging out with the other Dave, and just it's super welcoming there. I mean, they were totally in NAMM stress, and they still had time for us. So Avi took us through the factory, and I love the guy. He gets me. He knows how to handle me. He knows not to run around with me in the factory and point at stuff and be all businesslike, because they're not. They're freaks. They're gear freaks. So he shows us through the factory, does a quick tour, and then says, go. And lets us do our thing. Thanks so much, Patrick, for hanging out with me, being my camera guy, getting amazing shots. This would have been much, 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 much harder without you. That's what he said. I don't know. No, I can't make this work. Thanks, Patrick. So, that tour was phenomenal. We played the Synergy system, which is just wait till you hear that stuff. That is pretty damn awesome. Swapping a VH4 module, swapping a Plexi, a Morgan, or whatever. All the different options with rack-mounted options. Only the preamp into your existing amp. The heads. Pretty cool. Something for everyone, really, truly. So, we met Dennis Schock from Musikproduktiv and his team at the factory. I ran into Dennis over and over again. They have a lot of Friedmans. And super nice guys, really. I mean, yeah, I work a lot with Thomann, but show some love for Musikproduktiv. They're nice people. So, then we went home. I don't even know what we did in the evening. Oh, we had dinner with some more Warwick people at a place that I literally, truly cannot recall. Do not know where it was. Do not know how we got there. Do not know what the food was. I'm completely blanking on Monday night. Tuesday morning, we go and we drive up way. Well, first we pick up freaking Chris Rodriguez to drop him off somewhere in LA, in a place that didn't look very safe. Oh, during the whole Monday, Patrick looked completely white, had to go to the bathroom the whole day, and looked like he was throwing up. So we got him some Dramamine. To find out later that some other people of the Warwick team had some stomach issues. Apparently, the boss ran into meetings, said hi, ran back outside. It's not so funny. Well, it's funny when it happens to other people. It was going to happen to me. So, Tuesday we drive up to the TC event, or the music group, which is Behringer event. They invited me, which is very nice of them. Thank you, Tore. Thank you, Tobias. But only to find out that they have no new pedals and nothing. So Tore pulls out this thing out of his backpack and says, look, this is the new thing that we have, but you can't talk about it. I'm like, great. It's an awesome new thing, I guess. So Uli Behringer comes in and says, hey, I really like your videos, which is cool, even though they were not super positive. And I just said, hey, we hung out a bit, and then I said, Tore, let's make a video about the thing that we can talk about. And that video is online. And then we drove down to Hollywood because we were invited to the Friedman pre-NAMM show event. And we were at the sound check at this bowling alley. And it just sounded so damn good. And all these Friedman amps on stage. And they sounded so damn good. And it was such a nice venue. And Patrick felt like shit. It was getting quite cold. I wasn't prepared for that. So we hung out there. We went up and down Hollywood Boulevard a little bit so Patrick could see. He's never been in LA. So, Chinese theater, a couple of things. He's like, yeah, okay. Boo-hoo. I'm like, yeah, exactly. LA, don't go there. Then we went to Hooters and had some really cool chicken wings with bacon wrapped. And looked at some butts. There were nice butts there. Patrick didn't look at butts. I looked at butts. So, the event was amazing. So many cool people at the Friedman party, VIP only, and we had all access passes. Pete Thorne was there, but I didn't dare to speak to him. How stupid. And many people knew what I did. Even the owner of the venue watched my videos. It was extremely flattering. With everything that was going on with Congo, whenever that came back into my head, it was painful. But on the other hand, having that much love from viewers and from these people that I don't know, hang out with all these rock people and whatever, and they have other things to do than watch my videos, but still, they do, and it was absolutely humbling. So the whole team from Boutique Amp Distribution really loved the factory video, which was already online, and they loved the style. They didn't think it was overdone, so that gave me a lot of confidence. Wednesday, we set up the NAMM booth. I ran around the booth a million times filming. I think that's a really cool video that really shows the Warwick family being silly, being productive, and just, I think it shows who we are. And I count myself to the Warwick family. When I'm at NAMM, I'm part of the team, even though I didn't help because I was filming. I guess that's being part of the team. That's how I see it. I hope Hans Peter sees it that way. If you wonder what NAMM is like one day before, there's also a video where I'm running around where you see nothing is done. Very interesting. So what else? Yeah, that night we went to meet with GraphTech, who treated us to dinner at the Krabby Patty. No, that's SpongeBob. No, it's the Crab Shack. The Captain Crab's Underworld Extravaganza. Something. I don't know. And I don't like seafood, so I had the salmon, which is technically still seafood. So, yeah. I'm saying that gave me food poisoning. Everyone else is saying I got the Warwick bug. Whatever it was. Back to the hotel. I got the shakes. I was freezing like crazy. I got a fever. My stomach was crazy. Patrick showed up in the middle of the night because he hung out with the guys from Doro. The next morning, I tried to go to the booth. It was painful to even go there, and Hans-Peter Würfer, head of Warwick, was like, no, dude, you're turning around. Forget it. You can't do anything. So he sent me back to bed. Middle of the day, I threw up quite a bit, which helped. So I felt a bit better, went back to the booth. That wasn't happening because I was still ill. So I couldn't do anything about first day. So 4 days of NAMM. Last day, we're leaving early. I missed the whole first day. So I could have done a lot more videos for you guys, but I was throwing up. Not so good. Friday morning, Leslie FaceTimed me and said Congo's doing really badly. She has to put her down. Good times at NAMM. Okay, fine. We cried, we said goodbye, and that place back there is going to be empty. Well, X is, of course, occupying it, and I told him he's allowed to because he's a good dog. So, let's talk about the actual gear. After throwing up and all this stuff. Hey, my voice is gone. Last at NAMM, now it's gone. I don't know why you're watching this, by the way. It's a very sad story. I have no idea. So, it was amazing to walk around and see so many manufacturers, that I've already worked with, and that still like me, which is not necessarily, it's not necessarily a given, given that I am honest and I criticize things, but they don't care. They like it. Well, some of them. They like the honesty. They like that I'm helping them push the product further. And that was very nice. It was very nice to run into the guys from Source Audio and they like you. And one of the guys from the Warwick distribution, from the new American Warwick distribution. Hey, JP, Brian, and the guy that I don't remember. That guy that I don't remember walks up to me and says, hey, a big fan of yours. I'm like, oh, you watch the videos? He's like, no, Frameshift dude, Sebastian Bach. There are people who remember my music. How cool is that? That was weird, but also very humbling. I'm like, hey, thank you. That's didn't think anyone knew. That was way cool. Really, this nice moment. I was a rock star for a second there in my life. And so the guys from new distribution, they're super excited about pushing framers and making it a big brand, which it should be because the guitars are brilliant. We did a nice video for the new guitar. Check out the television, that hollow body from Framus. That's hot shit. I love the plank. I want one. I want a plank in traditional T-style pickup configuration. Awesome. I don't know if I have the money because these guitars are expensive and I don't get them for free. But that would be awesome. I'd love to show those. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah. I ran into Guillaume from Two Notes. He's the sweetest guy ever. Checked on the Joyo people. They had a nice soundproof booth. It was a little bit hot in there because they didn't have LED lights in there, but at least you could check out the Clons amp in all its glory in a quiet environment. And again, it's Joyo with the crappy guitar. I'm going to work on that. In Frankfurt, we're not going to have crappy guitars. So, what stood out for me? Let me see. That night, I was still pretty... Oh, that I was editing my balls off. So I just grabbed a sandwich. And then at CBS, ran into Derek. Hey, Derek! From Rev Amps. Nice guy. We had a big Kemper discussion. He thinks it's good for new and smaller manufacturers because it gets the name out. I can totally see that because they haven't branded their product yet. They don't have a brand. If you have a brand, Kemper is using that brand. And that's absolutely not cool. And I heard some stuff from some big manufacturers of Kemper approaching them, asking to profile their amps, to have in the stock profiles that come with the amp. And then I said, so what's the compensation? And Kemper said, oh, no, none, no compensation. Come on. I always said, Kemper's not at fault, it's the users who are at fault. If Kemper approaches big brand companies, want to put their signed off profiles so they can say, Amp Designer X signed off on this. So it's an approved profile from the amp designer. So it's correct, right? It's a good profile. And then they want to pay nothing for that. Fuck no. I mean, sorry, that's wrong. That's just absolutely wrong. Whatever. We talked about that, and we talked about doing demos and new companies starting out. Derek's a really nice guy. And the next morning I checked out the Generator 100 Rev Amp. 4-channel beast, all channels with their signature. It's harsh to the point where it's just right in terms of harshness. It's got this, I would call it Marshall-esque high mids, biting but not too much. Perfect to cut through in a mix. Not too much low end, not muddy at all. Always super tight. Always super rough and raw. I think if you want to get those singing leads, you're going to have to push it with something that makes it creamier, like a Tube Screamer. Beautiful clean sounds in channel 1. I love that the front panel lights up in the colors of the channel. It's just a brilliant amp. It's not a brilliant, incredibly flexible amp because it has that rev signature, but that's good. It's a rev amp with a lot of sounds. So that is good shit. So I sent my guys, my friends from Thomann, who were there, Christian, Stefan, I said, you got to check the shit out because you should stock this. And I don't know if they will, I hope, but they came back and said, yep, that's the shit. Very cool if you can, point someone in that direction. And they did the same thing. They're like, hey, they have writing me emails. Go over to Elixir. They have new strings. Check it out. I'm like, hey, I'm a Dadaria guy, but if Elixir's got if Elixir's got good stuff, then if Elixir's got good stuff, if Elixir's got good stuff. Okay, good, I can do it. If Elixir's got good stuff, I head over there. What's with the brightness over there? Holy crap, hola. That's some sun there. I'll check it out. So, Elixir, you're free to send me strings and a check. And I'll check them out and tell you what I think. Independent of the check. And they sent me to EMG. I have no experience with EMGs. I did like the active pickups. Don't know if they were AMGs in Peter's Ibanez Iron Label. They were actually nice. Nice clean sounds. Well, of course, because they're active, so there's less impedance, which means the high end comes through clearer at the amp. But they have these retroactive pickups now that apparently you can use in passive mode as well. They look like normal pickups, not the EMG brick. And I want to say Rob from EMG was a nice guy. I like it when companies don't know me. They don't know my maybe a little bit hyper energy. And I just go there and we make a video, and it's my type of video, which isn't, your typical tell me about the new pickup. I'm like, hey, I got 50 guitars, not a single one has EMG. Why should I have one? I'm not going there as a fanboy. I go there as me, with my history, my expertise, whatever that is, my opinions, and my stupidity. My not knowledge in some ways. So, the cool thing is that the companies, every time we're done filming, they're like, that was cool. That was a breath of fresh air. That was different. I really liked it. And they're embracing the stupidity, which is cool. Apparently the people watching those videos don't get that. They're embarrassed for me. Well, let's get into the comments later. YouTube's a funny place. And it's a very insulting place. Which I really don't understand. So, maybe we'll check out these pickups. Pickups are difficult. Fishman wants me to check out the Fluence pickups. Ooh. That should be a video series. And it should be Fluence, EMG, and standard pickups. Let's take some Seymour Duncans. We should do that, because that's on this channel we can do it. Fishman can't do it. EMG can't do it. So who's going to do it? Yeah. We should absolutely do that. So, where was I? So it was cool. Troman sends me to, hey, they have a cool thing. So we send each other to the different booths and say, hey, check this out. Hey, check this out. Nerds, okay? Nerds at work. I checked out the Iconoclast from Neunaber, that speaker simulator, which in their videos, I'm sorry, sounded not good. Their pre-NAMM videos, I was like, that's not going to be good. But what I heard at the booth, without twiddling with it at all, was pretty decent. Without a preamp, just pedal into it, could be a decent solution for less money than the Torpedo Cab. But they're going to send me one, and let's check it out. I loved running into, or being at the Keeley booth. I mean, Robert Keeley is the nicest guy, and apparently he's been watching my videos. I love that I just got a slider and made a few videos with me playing, and the slider is going, and people come up to me, dude, your slider. And like Daniel Stanley's like, dude, that thing is cool. And Tom Quayle's like, dude, that Tumnus video. And they, all these guys that I look up to, okay, they know my videos, they appreciate what I do, and being embraced by these top YouTubers and being welcomed into their circle, whether it's Rabea or Glenn Fricker. Pete Thorne said, dude, I love your dedication to the video quality, and I love your playing in what you do. If Pete Thorne gives you a thumbs up, thank you. I mean, you're not going to watch this, Pete, but still, thank you, Pete. That really, it gives me goosebumps right now. And Pete was like, oh my, this is so cool, your whole Triad Orbit setup. So, bam, I take Pete to the Triad Orbit booth, because, come on, Pete needs that shit. He's got a small room. He needs wall mounts. He needs some Triad Orbit love. So I hope they can figure that out. I ran into Brad Papa and Tim Pierce, and Brad Papa's got like 1 million subs, and he's working with tripods. I'm like, Brad, walk over there, get that shit. They're gonna hook you up. Papa Stash. So this is again, the love from the YouTubers was nice. That felt so good to get hugs from Daniel Steinert and all these people that know what I do and that appreciate what I do. There's no competition going on because we all do a slightly different thing. Phil McKnight, who's got 70,000 subs, does cool videos. He likes what I do. It's awesome when some manufacturers watch what I do, like Kyle Rhodes. I found his booth on the last day. He's like, come by. So it was in the wrong row. And I had very little time, which really sucked. I would have liked to hang out there more. But his KSR amps, that's some nice shit. Black, massive, brutal boxes. I didn't get the panel at all. He was twiddling somewhere and I had no idea what was going on. So the front panel layout, I don't know what was going on. It might take 5 minutes for me to actually study it. But he says he watches my videos while working on amps and trying not to electrocute himself. So, Kyle, if you're watching this, please be careful. Don't look at the screen. Look down at what you're doing and stay safe, okay? Thanks for watching. That really means something. And if you want to know how I do that one jazz thing that I can do, let's hook up on Skype. I'll teach you seventh chords. I'll get you going. So when someone says, "Hey, can they do jazz?" You just floor them with that one thing that you can do, same one thing I can do, and they're gonna go like, "Yeah, they can do jazz," even though you don't buy a, KSR for jazz. They're these raw, raunchy, very modern sounds. Modern in a way where if you have the EQ all the way up, you don't need to mid-scoop it. It's just right. Okay, it's just right. Very spanky cleans. Whatever that. I can't remember the name of the amp that I played. Big behemoth, and he has it as a 212, which is apparently is light. It looked like a tank to me. He says you can carry it. I'll trust you, Kyle. So the Rhodes amp was cool. The Rev amp, definitely two companies to watch out for because they're small, they're relatively new, but I think companies like Mesa and whatever, all these modern amp companies that do that more modern sound, that raw, rough sound, they got to watch out because, hell yeah, both clock in at similar pricing. So in terms of amps, 4 things stood out to me. That was the Rev, the KSR, which I kind of lumped together in terms of their characteristic, their defined chunky rawness. Oh, wait a second. I gotta tell Sarah. Okay. Sarah wants a lesson. Sarah can have a lesson. At noon. We're gonna do a Skype lesson with Sarah. So, and then the next amp or amps, the next brand that stood out was Dietzel. They came out with 2 new what the? I love these speakers, but they just can't handle cell phones in the vicinity. So Dietzel, the VH2, come on, smaller, lighter, because the VH4 is a behemoth, and more affordable than a VH4. I'm thinking it should be a little bit more affordable. Well, I don't know. In America, VH4 is, I think, $4,000, and this is going to clock in at under 3. So I don't know about Germany, where it should be cheaper because of no distribution, all this stuff. But you have pretty much 2 channels, and each channel can kind of go between. The first one can be 1 and 2, kind of on the gain range, and the second one can be 3 and then be pushed into channel 4. But technically, it's a 2-channel VH4 called the VH2. And for most people, clean and that third channel, which is the VH4 pedal, and that's that Metallica channel, that's that VH4 sound, why many people want the VH4. That's really cool that they did that. And they did, I'm going to say because I told them to, they did a pedal amp. They didn't quite know that pedals were a thing. They live like this. We make amps. But the greatest guys, really, the two Peters. And they made the Big Macs, a pure pedal amp, so I thought. One channel, no frills. Very important, that diesel power amp with that deep knob. So that's something that is very characteristic for diesel amps. That's what the Powell has, that's what the Einstein, that's what they all have. That gives you that oomph in the sound if you want that. And it has that. So it can be a clean amp for all your pedals, but on the low input clean channel, you can get some nice drive, some nice crunch. Then you go into the high input, which of course you can't switch to. It's a simple amp, and it can scream. That thing could be your metal monster if you wanted it to be. Yeah. Very flexible amp with one channel. Very, very cool. Check out the Big Macs. That's going to be quite a bit under $2,000, I think. And that's very interesting for a diesel. You can get a diesel and that diesel sound for halfway affordable, let's call it that. So, at the same booth, we looked at the Synergy system, which is cool. $500 for the one channel box, and then for a module, $399. Pop in the module, you can have a Friedman, a Plexi, a Fender-ish kind of amp, Bassman, a Morgan AC20, a VH4, Harry Brown Eye, Soldano. Many more companies will jump on this. It's very cool. You can, the DI out of that box going straight into the DAW, pretty damn good, I heard it. You can go into the rack-mounted power amp version that they have. You could go into your power amp on your amp, even looping in your preamp, switching between your amp and the two channels in the module. Killer! Which is probably what most people would want. Take your amp, wire it in, and it expands your amp with two more channels, whatever channels you want. Just plop in a new module, get a new one for Christmas, plop it in. And the interesting thing to me would be the 30 or the 50. Probably more the 30. Because the 30 has a clean channel plus the module. So that gives you the clean channel plus two more channels from the module. MIDI capability, FX loop, everything. And that's a 30 watt amp. Nice head. Put it there, put a different module in. They have a 50 with two modules, which gives you four channels. Pretty amazing. I'm going to test all of this stuff for you. They already promised me that I can. Thanks, Avi. Thanks, David. Thanks, Steven. Thanks, Jason. This is so cool. I didn't do a video about it, but I played the Morgan amps. Holy shit! Oh, that's already five amps I'm talking about. Holy shit! If you can play a Morgan, dial in the reverb a bit and never turn on a single overdrive. Fuck yeah! Holy crap. In our Friedman video, first of all, I want to thank all these amp manufacturers for embracing the amp heat switching system, which I would point at, but you can't see it because the light's on it. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And David Friedman had all of his amps on an amp heat switcher, just dial it in. That was so cool. And we had the chance to really check Pink Taco versus Brown Eye. In the room, me standing there, I could not hear a difference. Obviously, the big Brown Eye can do more things compared to the Pink Taco. It has 100 watt versus 20 or 25. So yeah, you can gig with it better than with a small one. But for a recording situation, we switched back and forth. In the room, I couldn't tell any difference. With the mic, there was a difference. Had to check out my camera. So with the mic, there was a difference. So we checked out the Runt, which is a PCB board amp, but also gives you the Brown Eye sound. In the room, I couldn't tell. When you listen back on the video with the mic, there were the tiniest little differences. Whether these matter or not, I don't know. Same with the Dirty Shorty Mini. I couldn't tell the difference. Dirty Shirley Mini. There's a Dirty Shirley pedal, and it sounds phenomenal. The new Friedman pedal's pretty damn cool. The Fuzz Fiend, Motor City Drive, I think that's called, the Bucks and Boost, and the Dirty Shirley. They're gonna be fun pedals. BE pedal is brilliant. Why shouldn't they be? So, Friedman boards, I think, are really damn cool. 2-level design. The nicest hard/soft cases ever. Use them as a suitcase. Brilliant. So I like that. I like that a lot. The new Wampler pedal, Dracarys, I haven't tried it. I tried the Ethereal. Holy shit, that's a nice reverb/delay. I'm going to be looking forward to playing that. And the Dracarys for some serious droppy stuff. Ooh. In terms of, Friedman pedal boards, very nice. They have a patch bay, buffer, on-off, switchable, very cool. I didn't film, I should have done that, the new rock boards. The new rock boards look nice. Extremely well designed. It's one piece of sheet metal, sheet aluminum, and everything is achieved by folding it. Folding the sides, screws. The top being the top rails being folded around the corner so that they're stable and strong. Everything is achieved without welds. They look sleek. They have no sharp edges. They have a thing at the bottom, kind of like a tray, where you can just let all your cables fall on. So you pretty much stuff the cables in and lock the bottom, put a tray on it. Brilliant. They have interchangeable patch boxes. Mono, MIDI, USB, if you wanted to. You can channel through your power, even like a little 9-volt power. Like if you have an ISO brick with an external power supply, ISO bricks under your board, you just plug in the back. You don't have to fiddle around and find your ISO brick. No, you just plug it in the back and channel it through. So they have different patch boxes to put in the back of your board depending on your needs, including expression pedal. Don't put your expression pedal on your board. Just carry it with you. Plank. Plug it right in the back of your board. Done. They also have a whole bunch new cables, straight plugs, a little tiny little bendy cable, which I don't have yet. I really want to check that out and see how flexible it is. So Rockboard has some really cool new shit, and I'm not saying that because it's a Warwick thing. No, the boards are cool. They are pedal train derivatives, but they're definitely an evolution of that idea. So no more, we do exactly what pedal train does. No, we have hired the top level designers, and we are doing boards that have learned from what has come before. Same with the Friedman boards. They're 2-level design, but yes, you can get a volume pedal on there by using that little rail that they have that you can move around. Very cool shit. I'm very excited about testing these boards. I'm getting a Friedman pedal board with the patch box, with the Friedman power supply, which will have some serious balls, and populating that with some pedals, doing some different tests, putting loopers on it, and just checking out how it's going to fly. So that's going to be very cool. Don't know what they clock in at. I'm assuming Friedman a bit more. So pedalboard wise, there's some cool stuff coming, high end, with good ideas. Amps we've covered. Did I forget something about amps? No, I don't think so. Pedals, well, there's a Dan and Mick pedal, which I haven't heard, but they're on it. How bad can that be? Keeley has good stuff. The Ventris from Source Audio, it's going to kick serious ass. A reverb with 2 full independent reverb engines, which means spillover. You could have a reverb that stays there for a minute while your spring reverb just whoa, that reverb, the tail comes off, and you're playing your nice spring reverb on top by switching presets. You can layer 2 reverbs, whatever that sounds like. I don't know. Cool. You could have a reverb on the left and a different reverb on the right, with 2 independent engines and a stereo pedal. You know, Bob's your uncle. I don't know what that means. In my case, it means anything's possible. So that's pretty damn cool. We're looking forward to that. Pedals. The new Jam pedals. I didn't go to their booth. I mean, I was at their booth, but I didn't film there. I'm sorry, Jam pedals. Super cool designs. They have some ridiculous, steampunk designs, which are really cool, but also some cool new graphics and, of course, new pedals. There was a new company from Greece that I want to mention. Their stuff sounded phenomenal. Here, Chakalis Audio Works. Phenomenally good sounding pedals. Okay? Absolutely stunning. What else do we have? I want to thank... I don't really have anything to thank about, but just... I want to call out some cool dude. Joe Stopka. Tascam. Some of you might have seen my Tascam DR70D useless piece of shit crap video, where for half an hour I screamed till I can't scream anymore because it ruined my base camp, my first base camp where I did the interviews with all these cool guys, with Phil X and Devin Townsend, and that piece of shit just didn't do what it was supposed to do. It messed up. The software messed up. And then Tascam Germany said, no, it's totally fine. You sent it back, but everything is good. I studied engineering and sound design. I tested it here with Paul Krommelbein, who was operating it at the show. Both of us, we did a whole day of training and operating the gear that we were bringing. It wasn't like we don't know what the fuck we're doing. So I gave this an incredibly bad review, got 18,000 clicks. But Tascam Germany said, we can't help you. It was your fault. So I'm talking to Rob Scallon. And this guy taps me on the shoulder and says, hey, how you doing? It's like some half Asian-y kind of looking guy. And I'm like, hi, I do know. He's like, my name is Joe. I'm the head of Tascam. And I'm like, ooh, sorry, dude. What can I say? It didn't do what it was supposed to do. I had to. He's like, no, it's all cool. Gives me his card and says, give me a call. Let's talk. Let's see if we don't have a product that you can actually get behind. Don't know if that's going to happen. I wrote him an email. But I wrote him an email saying, Joe, you are a class act. You're a cool dude. Approaching me after what I've done to your product, which might have really hurt it. Who knows? And approaching me in a friendly way and giving me your card, that shows class. And I was so impressed by that move by the head of Tascam, or at least the head of sales and business development for a very big company, that I took the video down. I made it unlisted. It's still there, but it's unlisted. People can't find it anymore. It doesn't pop up anywhere in any Google searches or whatever, and that's okay. I've said my piece. I've made my piece, and I want to extend an olive branch to Tascam, just like he did to me. If a company is so damn cool and approaches me in a nice manner, not saying that was stupid what you did or why did, just, hey, let's talk. I love when that happens, okay? Yeah, maybe that product was shitty, maybe that one was shitty, maybe, who knows what happened. Tascam, Joe Stopka, way to go, really, absolutely. I ran into Eric Broadband from the EVHG discussion, and we immediately did a live session on Wednesday talking about NAMM and talking about many things. Eric, thank you for inviting me on the show. What else? Matt Hornby. Yes, the new Chapman guitars are brilliant. He dragged me into the soundproof booth. I played the, don't ask me which one it was black. And I played the 3 single coil one as well. God damn it. They still clock in under $1,000, and they are phenomenally good guitars. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting my hands on some. Matt Professor, they can do no wrong if you ask me. What do we have? Tried Orbit didn't have a lot of new stuff, but everything they do have is amazing. And thanks, Tried Orbit team, for making my life easier. They want to do more with me. They want me to do some official videos for them that they can use. Because when they film, they use an iPhone, which actually is nice. Ryan did some really cool shots in a room where he's miking like snare and hi-hat with one stand. Crazy. But anyway, that's Tried Orbit, and I'm definitely going to do more with them. I wrote Aaron from Victory, because I want to do some Victory stuff. The Victory I played in that soundproof booth where that Chapman sounded really good. And if I can put one in my amp rack back there, that would be an honor for me, and it would be, nice to have and show you guys. Lawyer. Nice lawyer, though. Here's Ute from Elixir. I wrote her, let's do some strings. We'll compare them to my favorite strings and see what happens. So, guitars. Well, what did I see? The Chapman guitars impressed me. Most certainly. The new Framuses are nice. They already have the Hollywood in a Pro Series, which is 2000 something. With the Framuses, one of the problems is the mid-price series is very, very good. You get guitars that play and sound 98% like the master builds. Phenomenally good guitars. Trust me on that. Get your hands on a Pantera Pro team build German series, whatever it's called, Pro series, or the new Television, or any of that line. The thing is, they're making that line deliberately look more simple than the super high-end one. Of course, you would, because you want to make the point that, yes, these are less expensive. But that means in that 1600 to 2800 price range, they have guitars that look less like guitar porn compared to companies like PRS and other companies, maybe Kiesel Super Guitar Porn. So they look simpler, which isn't necessarily helping them, because to lay your hands on a guitar, you need to be attracted to it. And because these guitars look simpler, you're not necessarily as much attracted to them. They are, when it comes to the bases, they have the same ratio locking tuners, they have the same pickups, they are amazing guitars for the money. They don't have the super porn tops. It's something that I told them, I said, look, just make it a little bit more porn and you've got it. For those people that want a killer instrument for a good price, that's the series to go to. Now they have the Dragon series, or in America, the D series, which is going to be from China. I haven't played them, so I can't tell you anything about it. But obviously, I'm going to try to get my hands on those. So, let's go into hate. I went to the Ibanez booth and made an Ibanez booth video, and I thought it really wasn't that negative. I made fun of the names because the names are ridiculous. Do I need to know in my name that it is a drop-tuned guitar with an ebony fretboard and a beveled top? They're trying to put all the specs into the name with abbreviations that if you have an Ibanez abbreviation list and you're a mega fanboy, you can figure out by the name what fretboard the guitar has. Why? The Gem is called the Gem. Joe Satriani is called the JS1000. I mean, they can obviously do names that make sense and that are cool and that you can remember. I cannot remember the RGDIX something TSB. The last thing is always the color. For me, that belongs in the spec sheet, not in the name of the instrument. So, I made fun of this stuff, and I'm getting hate from Ibanez fanboys. I really didn't say a lot of negative things. Let's sum it up. What's the negative stuff that I said? I said I would like more locking tuners and more of the instruments. And yes, the non-locking nut guitars have locking tuners. I didn't think about the locking nut. Escaped my mind. Yes, there's a locking nut. So do you need locking tuners? I personally still would like that because it makes changing strings easier. Okay? On the other hand, on Floyd Rose guitars, what I do, which not a lot of people do, I actually pull the ball end through the headstock. So I'm pulling my ball end through the tuners, and then I cut them off over here and at the Floyd. So no, I wouldn't need locking tuners for myself. On the other hand, it's always nicer to have them. It's a couple of bucks more, but you make one comment, you catch serious hate. Wow, serious hate. That video is getting ridiculously bad comments. Then I'm going to a wall of ridiculous 8 strings. And yes, you can like 8 string all you want, but some of these signature models, like they were humongous and whoa! An Ibanez guitar for $8,000. And then I get comments like, yeah, but that's the guitar from the Meshuggah guy, and the band is great. And for being so great, the guitar should, for the band's music being so great, the guitar should be 8,000. I'm sorry, 8,000? 8,000 is ultra level. That is private stock level. That is Nick Huber. That is Hartung. That is Framus master build with all the frills. For me, that's not Ibanez because some guy supervised the CNC machine. No, this is not a hand-carved guitar. And it has a whatever pickup in it. Yeah, that's $20 more than another pickup. I'm sorry. Material on this guitar doesn't add up to $700. Probably not more than that. 8K, fine, it's Monkey's personal, whatever. So yeah, I had the guitar give me a blowjob, fine. I was kidding around. But apparently, people can't take that. So then, this is so weird, Julie from Earthquaker Devices went by. She's nice, we like each other. I'm like, hey Julie, I already shot over at your place, see you later. And then I'm getting these comments, you were so rude and insulting to Julie. First of all, nobody that watched the video knows who Julie is. You don't know Julie. And I like Julie. Julie likes me, we know each other, and I wasn't rude. I said hi. What is wrong with the internet? Who broke people's manners? Then I picked up the mahogany gem. It looks beautiful with a burl pickguard. I said good things about it. I bitched about a $2,400 guitar, which was the MSRP that was given, having a 3-piece body. That's not cool. That means they used mahogany scraps, okay? They used pieces of mahogany that they didn't want to throw away. $2,400, I'm sorry, completely, utterly unacceptable. That is acceptable for a guitar that clocks in at $300. Okay? On a Harley Benton, I can absolutely excuse a 3 or 4 piece body. Use all the scraps you want. On a guitar for $2,000, no. Okay? Whether it affects the tone or not is simple no. Using leftovers to build a guitar in this price range for me is a no-go. So I said that. Here's the funny bit. Yes, I made a mistake. The first guitar I picked up with a burl top and that gem, I said they are prestigious when they're actually premiums. Because I'm sorry, fucking Ibanez is trying to bullshit us because they changed the premium logo. The premium logo was always a blocky kind of a thing. Now they changed it to be the same handwritten font that the Prestige logo is in. Prestige Premium, P-R-E. Same font. You have to look 3 times. Wait, is that a Prestige? Wait, is that a Premium? This is a deliberate attempt to blur the lines between Premium and Prestige. It's a deliberate attempt to make us think that the premium line is higher end. Had I seen that those two guitars were actually premiums and not prestigious, I would have ripped them a fucking new one, because so far I have not had a premium that was worth anything. The premium line is not good. Ibanez has to step up their game with companies like, I'm sorry, Harley Benton around. I know we can compare that, but Chapman guitars. I know Chapman is tiny, Ibanez is big, but take a 900 euro Chapman, take a 900 euro Ibanez. You will 99% go for the Chapman because it's worth twice as much. Or comparable to an Ibanez twice as much. Okay, so the premium line is really not happening. And now they're raising the prices for the premium line. Instead of making the quality better at the same price point, they're raising the prices for some reason, giving it a logo that looks like the Prestige. I don't know if that's a good idea. I didn't say any of that in this video, but still, it's getting clicks like crazy, but it's getting serious hate for me. So, and I'm getting a lot of hate. Obviously, NAMM videos will be found by people that don't know me, which means they're confronted with this bald guy who's loud, who's stupid, who walks all over people and doesn't let them finish. Okay, I'm a horrible interviewer. I'm here all day by myself, okay? I don't know how to talk to people. Why would I? It's not my forte. It's not my environment. Interacting with people is not my environment. I don't like people. I like you, but you're far away in your own place. So, a lot of these presenters at these booths don't want to give you the same talk anymore. They've said it 30 times. Their voice is gone. So they really do appreciate it. When I walk up to the booth, they tell me what's up, and I take over. Okay? They do appreciate that. They do appreciate my enthusiasm for the product, because it's their product. Who believes them? When I'm there, I'm like, hey, this is so cool, and I get enthusiastic about it. It sends a different message. New viewers, and obviously with NAMM videos, you have a lot of new people coming. They don't get me, and they feel that it's important to insult me in the worst possible way. Why not just go to another video? I don't get the internet. I don't understand the internet. Why be incredibly rude to me? Why insult me in the worst ways possible? You turd, you fucking dickhead. I mean, and those are the nice ones. Why? I don't understand people. Why would you go and insult a guy who runs around NAMM for you for fucking free because you don't pay for it? And why not just move on and say, not my kind of video, I watch something else? I don't understand it. And this isn't a one-time incident. And people don't understand the dynamics of relationships with these companies. This one guy just goes on and on about me being insulting to Dietzel, disrespectful to Dietzel and the presenter, because I sit there and I eat a muffin. Well, the day before, everyone bitched about me talking too much, so I walk up to Peter Stapfer and, hey, Peter, you do it. I eat my muffin and my coffee, because everyone said I talk too much. Now I'll let you talk. So I'm going the complete opposite way, and it's still wrong. You can't fucking please YouTube. You talk too much. So I talk not at all. I eat my muffin. Now eating a muffin is insulting to my friend, Peter Stapfer, who I talk to on a regular basis. And I have no respect for Dietzel, who give me amps to show that I didn't pay for because they love what I do, who I make marketing strategies with, who I offer whatever they want to, anything they want. They can send me anything. I'll make a video that they can use, a video I can use. Anything Dietzel wants, they get immediately, because I love Peter Stapfer, I love Peter Dietzel. Anything in the industry that I hear, there was this incident where some company needed some consulting on something. And I'm like, hey, Peter, can you do that? And if I made it happen that they got a big chunk of money for their expertise. Anything for Dietzel, because I love these guys. They are total amp nerds. They love what they do. They're not selling huge numbers. They're a struggling company. So let's help them out. Okay? No. Apparently, in my video, I have no respect for my friends. Why do I have to, I'm sorry, internet, why do I have to sit there and take that? I know it's the internet, I know it's trolls, and I know you have to have a thick skin, and I do. I don't answer to most comments anymore because there's 200-300 coming in daily, so I'm sorry. I try. I really try to answer as many as possible. I know many of you that have watched for 2 hours now, I don't know how long. You're super, super nice, and you're hardcore fans, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So, but it still hurts a bit, you know? I go to NAMM, I run around there with a fever, I make videos. I even shut up because you asked me to shut up. Strange new people have asked me to shut up. Cameron, who apologized, by the way. Hey, Carl, Cameron Gallagher, I think is his name, wrote me on Facebook and said, I'm so sorry for giving you bad shit on the Mad Professor video. He apologized. And Cameron called me on, well, you talk to other companies, you talk badly about other companies. I'm like, I talk to anyone about anything, whether the camera's running or not, because you know what? I'm a guy who knows gear, and I talk about gear freely and openly. That's it. That's what's happening. So I talked to Decibel 11, who make great loopers, but limited in what they can do. And I said, well, you know what, just yours are limited, but they can do certain things, just like the ES8 is a great piece of gear. It can do a billion things, but it's almost unusable because the user interface on the ES8 sucks. As you could clearly see in 12 of my ES8 videos that I made for Boss, which I got nothing for, by the way. I made these videos to show you how the ES8 works, and I get frustrated in every single one because the user interface without USB, without Bluetooth, without an editor is sucky. I've told you this in every single video. You can see me being frustrated. Why would I not talk to Decibel 11 about my experience with the ES8 in front of a running camera? You all know what I think. So I talked to Mad Professor about the new TC pedals, and I said, I don't like them. They're not very good. In all the videos that weren't drives, I said I used the Mad Professor pedal as a drive, and it was much more fun to play than a TC pedal. And he's like, and Cameron said, well, you would never, talk to Toro about that, and probably you're talking to Toro behind other companies' back badly about other companies. No! When I met Toro in person for the first time at that music group event, I told him, sorry that the new pedals aren't any good. He watched my videos, he fully agreed with everything. I'm sorry to say that. Maybe Toro doesn't want me to say that. He's not going to say that in front of a running camera. But no. He says they are what they are for the money. Obviously, the $50 reverb isn't going to compete with our Hall of Fame. Okay? So I openly talk to every company about what I think. If they can't handle what I think, which is just one guy's opinion, well, then we can't work together. I don't run around people's backs and say bad things about. I had a conversation with the guy from Ibanez, Germany, about the premium line in their guitars, and I said, I don't think they're very good. They need to step up their game. If you want me to show them in videos and say good things, they need to be good things. What's so wrong about that? So yeah, that's what I said. I'm sticking to it. Guitars, and then something else. Love the new D'Angelico's Premier line, $770 or something. An SS and a DC without an F-hole in white. Really, really cool and beautiful. Love that. So I already told them, please send me an SS, which is their single cut, in white without an F-hole, because just visually, it'll fit so nicely in some videos. It's very likely a decent guitar. I'm going to compare that to my higher priced SS. So I really like what D'Angelico has done. It's still there. They're still in the hollow body market. There's solid body. Don't know yet. I haven't tried them. But what they're doing in the hollow body market is very nice. And now actually in more affordable ranges. Let's talk about more hate. That is so weird. My Phil X video. You know? Crazy chaos with Phil X. First year I ran into Phil. We had the best time. We talked. And he says, dude, you're a cool guy. Let's hang. Then I ran into him in Frankfurt at the Framers booth, and it was crazy and fun. Then we hung out at Basecamp. We hung out quite a bit, and with Kiana, and you know, when the cameras weren't running, we hung all the time. And Phil and I are friends. Fuck the fact that he's the Phil X. Fuck the fact that he's playing for one of my favorite bands of all time, Bon Jovi, which I put out of my head because it would be crazy to think about that Phil is Bon Jovi's guitar player. He's just Phil, and he's a cool guy, and we like being stupid together. When we're together, we're stupid. Phil watches my videos. He bought pedals because of my videos. Why would I walk up to Phil X and do the worshipy, oh, Mr. X, please tell us about your guitar, and I will not be silly with you. So I'm getting serious hate on my video with Phil, where we're just ridiculously stupid. With the whole Warwick team, with Marcus Spangler and everyone and Overboss, they're all stupid. It's a funny video, and I'm getting hate for it because I'm not respecting Phil. I'm not showing respect for the Phil X. Lots of female names commenting that. And those must be a little getting wet in the pants Bon Jovi diehard fans that think Phil X is like a god now because he's being on stage with the god Bon Jovi. Fuck that! They're all human beings. John Bon Jovi, nice guy, does good things for great organizations, writes some killer songs. New album, little bit whiny, not so many really energetic songs. The energy's not there. His singing is kind of very laid back. The songs are all kind of like, Richie, you broke my heart. I'm sorry, okay? I love Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi is why I'm here. The first song I ever heard that made me realize that music is something that can move you was Runaway from the first Bon Jovi album. Bon Jovi is the reason I became a guitar player, a musician, and why I'm sitting here. But I don't have to worship the man. I like the music. And for all these, I get so wet in the pants when Bon Jovi just opened his mouth, girls that comment on the video where I'm hanging out with my friend Phil X and we're talking silly stuff about guitars. Oh, Phil seems to be very disturbed by what you're saying, and he doesn't know how to react to you. And, oh, come on, internet. Two guys, two musicians in front of a camera, shooting shit about guitars, and that's it. Cringeworthy, maybe I am. But who the fuck are you to insult me? Really, it's hurtful. And I don't think anyone has the right. Well, that's the internet for you. Okay, I know that. I know if you're not thick-skinned, don't make YouTube videos. But NAMM is the time where I upload, 40 videos. I haven't counted. And many people find me that don't know me. And apparently if you don't know me, I'm not for everyone. But from hanging out with my buddy Phil and we talk about frames, guitars, and we're stupid, and the little Bon Jovi fangirls come and insult me, that's not polite. Only ever write what you tell me in person if you had never met me. How many people do you think at NAMM walked up to me, straight up into my face and said, your videos are stupid. You're a turd. You bald German motherfucker. I hate what you do. Not a single person. Fans came up saying, I love what you do. People wanted selfies. Couples came and said, I love your videos because they're the only ones that I can watch when my husband's watching gear stuff that I actually can stand because you're funny and entertaining. Only good stuff came my way. Where are all you idiots that hate my stuff? Why don't you walk up to me and say, dude, hate what you do? Have some fucking balls and don't hide behind a stupid Guitar Lover 76 name or whatever it is and write incredibly hurtful things that you would never tell me in person. Have some fucking balls. I comment on videos. I comment to the point. I say, would have been nice if you had done this. Get some more light in the videos. You know, I'm a smartass when it comes to filming stuff. I try to give them whatever. But I would only write what I would tell someone in person. And 99% of the haters out there don't do that. Fine, that's the internet. It comes in a compressed form on the NAMM videos. And it's not nice to wake up to 80 comments, and a lot of them are very mean. My Ibanez video wasn't as negative as it could have been if I had actually realized that there were premiums. And why run around the booth and be super positive, when there isn't only super positive stuff to say? Okay? So, some of the stuff is really hurtful. And, why? I just want to know why. The other YouTubers love what I do. They like that it's different. They like that I'm stupid. They love Kiana. Next time, I'm trying my best to bring Kiana to NAMM. So, yeah. NAMM was a sucky time. My tooth kept falling out. I was sick. I had fever. My dog had just died. And still, I jumped in front of the camera and I tried to give you me and the coverage that I provide. Many people seem to hate it. So, at some point you ask yourself, why even do it? Well, because the manufacturers, the companies, love it. They all like what I do. The ones that don't know how to react to it, after the filming is done, they're like, okay, dude, that was cool. All of them. So, fuck you people who said the guy from the company didn't know how to react. Someone wrote that on the KSR video. And Kyle Rhodes watches the videos. He invited me personally because he likes my videos. He wanted a Henning NAMM coverage video. So thanks, Kyle. And fuck you people for saying, oh, he didn't like it. Whatever. You know? Don't be so sexual in your videos. Every person I walk up to, I brought a lot of these Gelo revoice things because people lose their voice. I brought $160 worth of these revoice things to give to my friends because I know they don't have anything for their voice and I know they need it. I gave it to Devin Townsend and Herschel from Triad Orbit because when we meet at the shows, I give it to them. Gave Devin a whole vial in China and he loved it. So first time I ran into Devin, I'm like, Devin, here, I got your hookup. I was like, oh, thank you. So I gave one to Glenn Fricker, and every person I'll tell this to, I'm like, hey, Dave Friedman got one from me. And he gave it to his friend, and she was like, yep, that's exactly like cum, just in cherry. And so my thing is always careful, you know, let it dissolve in your mouth, and it feels like, I guess, like cum. So that's my line, and we laugh about it, and it's always funny. And you do that in a video, and someone's like, oh, your videos are too sexual. Oh, come on, we're all adults. I can say the word cum and tit and boob and pussy and penis. You know what? Because a penis is not a bad thing. It's a dangly thing and it's fun to play with. What the fuck? Yes, I make sexual jokes. I should be more professional in my videos. Well, the information you get is professional. And you know what? The people who make these products, hang with Dave Friedman for 5 minutes. Balls. Ha! The whole room laughs. Hang with his guy Jason. Or with Avi who owns the company. This is how we are. Hang with Phil X. Hey, sexual innuendo in the air all the time. Rock and roll. That's how we are. Why should I bring you a dry, informative, corporate style video? And if you care to listen to, here is my opinion about this pedal. I do not think that the drive is enough, but come the fuck on. We're all adults. 7-year-old girls aren't watching these. Penis, boobs, vagina, fuck, motherfucker, cunt, whatever. If you're really offended by me sometimes saying, that's what she said, I don't get it. If I don't do it, a lot of you are like, hey, you're not yourself anymore. It's not entertaining. I simply think you can't please everyone. But why would people spend the time to comment on it? I don't know. So, NAMM videos over. Back to work, I guess. Back to do more demos for whatever's coming my way. There's still tons of stuff on the tables here. Back to more stuff that's coming in now from many companies, probably. The Iconoclast from Neunaber is already on the way. I have Strymon stuff to show you. I'm going to show you a lot of Friedman and boutique amp distribution stuff. I just got a call from Schecter. Schecter wants me to do things, so that's going to be cool. I always thought Schecter is that super metally kind of Hellraiser series. No, they do so much more. They have T-Styles, killer S-types. They have really, really cool boutique, and not boutique, but custom shop instruments clocking in at over $3,000, handmade in the US. So we're going to take a look at the other side of Schecter, not the side you know, which are a little bit overdone, a little bit too frilly, beautiful tops, but then also a mother of pearl all around, just a little bit over the top. But that's only their metal series. There's a lot more that they have, so that's going to be interesting. We might be doing some Music Man. They've approached me. So stuff's coming. Again, companies like what I do, which is nice. And as always, my promise to you, now that we've crossed the 35,000 subscriber mark, thanks for this. I'll be honest. Yes, I would be transparent, which means I'm telling you whether I'm getting paid for a review or not. Most of the reviews coming, I will be paid for. I have the conversations with the companies that go like this. Whether you pay me or not, and you better pay me, because otherwise, why do what I do? I need to eat, okay? It doesn't mean that it's going to be a super positive review. Here's the deal. If I have things to bitch about, I will bitch about them. If I don't bitch about them, I say only good things. It could mean that the product is only good. That rarely happens, but that's possible. But it also means that you can really believe that the positive things I'm saying about the instrument, the amp, the pedal are positive. If something is so goddamn bad that I would only say bad things about it, and then I say, look, don't buy this. It's just not worth it. Then I'm not doing the review. Then I'm offering the company not to do it. Okay? It also means there are some indicators if that might, for an instrument where that might be the case, where you saw an unboxing, at which point I didn't know the product, but you never saw a review. Why would that be? Think about it. It didn't say anything negative about it, but you might have an indicator why there was never a review. If you might have seen like a produced track of something, which I produce in advance, but then I don't really find anything good to say about the product, and the company and I would decide not to do the review. Then ask yourself, why was there a produced track but never a review? Okay? So that's what I offer companies. If it's goddamn bad, and I would have to say, please don't buy this piece of shit, let's not do it. But if I have a couple of things to criticize from my point of view that I would have rather seen in the product, that's all good. That pushes companies. And they like it. They like the honesty. So yes, I'm getting paid, but my promise to you that I made at 20,000 subscribers still stands. I serve you and not the companies. Obviously, I serve the companies in a way of bringing products to you to see and being demoed nicely, filmed nicely, hopefully getting good sounds. But I work for you guys. Because if you weren't there and the company still paid me and all this, they wouldn't. Because then the channel's pointless. Without my viewers, it's pointless. And I work for you. So my promise now at 35,000 subscribers to you still stands. I will be honest. And so far, it's working with companies. Companies that I've highly criticized and said, this product is not so good. After some discussion afterwards, it has strengthened my relationship with them. And that is Vox, that is Hot Tone. We have now a stronger relationship because I have criticized some of their products. Okay? So it's working out. If you haven't seen them, please check out my Rocker reviews. The Rocker 15, a really cool amp. The Rocker 32 is the hottest piece of shit in the stereo world right now. That amp sounds so good. And if you have stereo effects, you owe it to yourself to get the Rocker 32. You might not be into orange, so never go to the drive channel. Use the clean channel, which is this one knob. It's to die for. It is fun. Please watch my whole coverage with produced tracks, unboxing, and a full review of it. I want to thank Charlie, Cooper, and Neil from Orange. Charlie is a stand-up guy. He approached me about it. Yes, they paid me for the reviews, which was nice. I said I would love to keep the Rocker 32 here because it will be my demo amp for anything stereo, because it is brilliant for that. So any pedal that can do stereo will run through the Rocker 13, like the demo that's coming up today or tomorrow of the Neo Instruments Ventilator 2, fully stereo, all with this amp. And he says, well, you know, it's not an inexpensive amp. So I said, look, I'll do the Rocker 15 for free, full review of it, and I will use this in all my stereo demos because it makes sense. So that was a deal I had with them. Again, transparency, and that is cool. So thanks, Orange, for leaving this here. I love it. It's standing there, and it is fun to play every single time. But Charlie's a stand-up guy because I couldn't do my video of Orange on the first day like we planned. So the whole schedule was messed up. He wrote me one email after another. He was concerned about my health. He told me his condolences about Congo, which was extremely, extremely nice. I went past the booth with the camera once and he didn't know how to react and he just nodded. Then he writes me this apologetic email saying, I'm so sorry, I'm British and we see a camera and we don't know how to react, so we just go like this. I love when I can love the people behind the products. When I have a warm, tingly feeling about the people that sell them, about the families in this case, Orange, the Cooper family. I like when the people are nice people. And Charlie Cooper kept writing me. He's like, oh, we were going to have this guy at the booth, so come over and, you know, get some interview or film something. I sadly didn't have the time, Charlie. So thank you, Charlie, for being a super nice guy. And I highly, highly appreciate it when I meet new friends on that level of kindness. I'm going to have breakfast now. I don't know how long this is. I don't care. Thank you. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.